home games. That is Rick Zamprin from 900 CHML and Bubba O'Neill from CHCH TV Sports. Steve Milton from the Hamilton Spectator. I am Scott Radley from the Hamilton Spectator and 900 CHML, and it is time for the 1 minute debate. Here's how that works. I'm going to give these guys a topic. They have 1 minute to make whatever case they choose to make. 1 minute. We are reasonably strict with the 1 minute. As long as you finish under 4 minutes, 1 minute debate. Here's tonight's topic. What is, and it's a strange one until you really give it some thought, and then it's a really good one. What is the best smell in sports? What is the best smell in sports? Steve Milton, we're going to go to you first. The best smell in sports. You have 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, go.
I can tell you what it isn't. It's that hockey equipment I haven't worn for 5 years, and that's still sitting in my cupboard, and I can smell it. So I looked at this for a long time, and I thought, well, there's there's the fans. What do they like? Does the owners? Is it the experience you have watching TV, that kind of thing? I'm going to go to participation. This is from a participatory angle. Okay, so you're playing football and you get that grass up your nose, which I love. The first time of the year, and you get hit and it's real grass up your nose. But the smell that I like the best is because when it happens at halftime or between periods and you're playing kids hockey or in your soccer and you're you're totally exhausted, and then or in football and it's boiling out because you're wearing all that stuff and it's early September and you're boiling, and out come the cut oranges. And you go, holy smokes! It's like this invigorating smell. It's like just boom, a bouquet of respite. So I'll go with that.
They smell a lot better than the popsicles. Popsicles taste pretty good, but they don't smell like anything.
No, oranges, those fresh oranges. Fresh
oranges. That's a great one. And every kid who's ever played soccer or parent who's been a parent of kids soccer knows exactly.
And you're responsible. You're the orange dad that day.
Although the orange dad, I'll say this, in youth soccer now, there has been such a competition for the post-game snacks that it's no longer okay just to bring sliced oranges. You've got to roll in those rolling coolers with popsicles and Gatorades and Capri Sun drinks and homemade Rice Krispie squares and steaks and everything else.
Some bags of chips,
Novice halftime brought to you by Starbucks.
Exactly. Kids Sports now sponsored. All right, Rick Zamprin.
All right.
We need to know what is the best smell in the world of sports. 3, 2, 1. You have a minute. Go.
Well, number one, I'm going to trump Steve's hockey equipment smell with the hot garbage smell in the concourse of Old Iverwin Stadium. I can still smell it right now. That's not good. That's not on my list. I'll tell you what is. It's the smell of a baseball glove. You put it up to your face, and that leather just,
great one,
wafts up your nostrils, and it just brings you back to, being at, your schoolyard or the ballpark when you're playing with your buddies, when you're growing up and you're learning the game and learning how to play the game, and you got this thing on your hand and you're always kind of chewing on the little strings and, tying it up again, wrapping the ball and getting the elastic in there. And that smell really brings me back to my childhood and learning and loving the game of baseball and, and becoming an adult and teaching my kids, all about the sport and my wife about the sport and enjoying the sport because of that simple smell of the leather baseball.
That is awesome. That really is. And the glove, what do you call it? The juice that you put on it too to soften it up.
Neat's foot oil is what we used for generations. I don't know if they still use it, but as soon as you said it, my whole olfactory senses just went crazy.
Excellent one. Let us continue. Bubba O'Neill, the best smell in sports. You have 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, I can't help but personalize it, guys. And I know I've said this and I brought this up before in a couple of our broadcasts. My most enjoyable experience in sports was the tour I took of Wrigley Field before a game, right? I went a day before a game, and we actually got to tour the actual facility. And being down on the grass is something I will never ever forget. There was a smell because he had just finished cutting the grass. And the smell of the fresh cut grass at 1.25 inches with these 80-year-old greens people that have probably been working there for 60 to 65 years, the care and the manicuring that they put into that stadium and the smell. Here you are on the south side of Chicago, folks, and the smell of this grass. It's like I've never smelled it ever again. Obviously, because here in Toronto, well, we don't have that option. Everything's artificial turf. Hamilton, artificial turf. But the smell of that freshly cut grass, I can smell it now. I can remember it now, and I have not experienced anything ever since. A beautiful smell, and it just made me think, wow, this is baseball.
It's true. It's a good one. It's also great visual there too, eh?
Yeah.
You walk in and you see all that green, that lush green.
And it's funny, Bubba, because I had two, and one of them was that one, and it was not just grass from baseball; it was grass from Wrigley Field. I was going to say, because same thing. You walk. I didn't do the tour, but when you walk up the ramp and you sort of you go through the door, so you're now into the stadium proper. It's like, whew, it's almost like they spray it with extra stuff to accentuate the smell or something.
The old Maple Leaf Stadium was like that. The old Maple Leaf Stadium, the baseball stadium, was very much like that. It had these kind of arches, and you couldn't see the field until you got inside. And remembering it was in an urban setting, you know, yes. and except for the lake in the background. I mean, but then you'd walk in, and it was all of a sudden, I've never seen anything so green in my life.
It was incredible.
And you could smell it.
All right. 1 minute for me to come up with the best smell in sports. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Go. As everyone else has had one, I'll tell you the one that it isn't was the old visitors' locker room at Ivor Stadium. I don't know what they did to the toilets. I think they permanently plugged them so pee would just spill out onto the floor. I'm not really sure. It was a great strategic tactic. Here's mine, and it was going to be possibly Wrigley Field, but the other one, and this kind of goes back to childhood when I would be playing soccer for school, and you'd be playing in the fall, and I don't know that it actually had any help, but you thought, oh, I better loosen up my muscles, and so you would slather on the Rub A535 or the Tiger Balm. And that stuff, I know some people hate that stuff. I absolutely love the smell of Rub A535, and I don't know why. Maybe I don't even know what it is, mentholy or minty or something. But if you're running in and around the Bay Race, or you're running somewhere and someone near you has covered themselves in Rub A535, I will pace myself now to run behind them because it keeps you going. It's one of those pleasant smells in sports. You know what I haven't tried though? That's my time. What I haven't tried, and what I don't know if it would have been an addendum. Has anyone ever done the smelling salts? Because I would think that they're probably not quite as pleasant, but that I was thinking that may be the most potent smell in sports.
It's potent, but you're right about the eighth. That was actually when I came up with this idea at first, that was actually the one I was thinking about, because I identify it so strongly with track meets, both participating and just recently, I mean, the last OFSA meet I covered. And it is something else. They don't use it as much as they once did, because now you warm up in a different way. But it was just permeated all the time. In fact, it's harder to find a Rub A535 than it used to be. There's less of it on the shelves.
Well, it's the cheaters warm up. You can actually warm up, or you can just slather your body in sauce and hope that it digs in far enough to the muscles that you're loose. That's what I used to do, because I was too lazy to do the proper warm up.
Guys, when I thought about this at first, I thought we'd talk more about peanuts and hot dogs around the stadium, but that smell doesn't permeate as much as it once did, because there's such a variety of foods now.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be you'd only smell peanuts and hot dogs when you went to any stadium in any sport. And
now
you just
sushi and
deep fried tofu chips and kale burgers.
And isn't it interesting that all four of us, whether it was good or bad, we all have memories of Ivor Stadium. Like, I mean, Tim Hortons Field is Tim Hortons Field, and you know what? It had to be modernized. We all know that old barn had to go. We all know it did, right? It was just hard to deal with, but
how about the wood seats even there? How about the smell of those?
You know, what a place.
The bees.
Yeah, during the August practice.
Antiseptic as the doctor removed the large splinters from your butt from those seats.
All right, yeah, but the bees, that's exactly right. If you were covering a practice there, I remember we used to have to take, especially in the fall, we'd have to take our Coke or whatever, and we put it away from where we were sitting, because there'd be 100 bees around it in about 5 minutes.
That's a topic for another day, though. We will wrap this one. What is the best smell in sports? We'd love to hear from you. If we missed one, if there's one that you think, no, guys, you completely overlooked it, comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. If you agree with one of us, heaven forbid, but if you agree with one of us, let us know. Also, subscribe, hit notifications. We'd love for you to be able to watch these videos every time they come out. They come out often. We'd love for you to join us. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.